Hey guys, what's going on? Katie Day down here in Houston, Texas with Stephen Kim in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Here with another episode of Real Advice Podcast. I am very excited to introduce our guest this week, founder of Digital Natives and the ZillowKiller brand. He is not only a talented designer and a trained marketing specialist. He began his journey as a licensed real estate agent in the state of New Jersey. He is well known in this industry for his no BS attitude and his absolute marketing genius. Please join me in welcoming my friend, the ZillowKiller.
What's up,
James Rembert? What's going on, man? How are you?
Also, it's always funny because people think I name myself that, so I always have to clarify it. What is this? It's rated PG. Where are we rating this?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. All good. I just figured we should not start out with curse words within the first minute, but now that we've passed that first minute, you can drop whatever you want, man. All good.
No, I wasn't. I always try to make sense, right? Because sometimes I get in the middle of spewing stuff out, and yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
that one time.
I would never yell at you. Cool, man. So James, we really appreciate you being here today. I guess we'll hop into the ZillowKiller, but obviously I know you started out as a real estate agent and you did that for a while and now have, still obviously have your team and whatnot, but you've transitioned more into the marketing and digital space. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you've kind of gotten to where you are today.
Well, like you said, I started out in the industry. Where is this live at? This is on Facebook?
So we are recording and then it'll be put out on YouTube and podcast. Yeah.
Oh, no, I figured I was going to share it. So that's why I was looking. But yeah, no, I started out as selling real estate, and I sold real estate. I tell people I sold real estate effectively 3 years. I mean, I sold it for 4 years, but 3 years was effectively. My very first year was terrible, right? I had the same perspective that everybody else had. Like it was just, I got my license and it'll come, right?
Yeah.
And I sold to like 4 people in a midget. Like my first year was terrible to the point where I just understood I needed help. And needing help in a sense of I needed direction, right? I needed I need something I wasn't doing right. And I followed the book and I did everything that I was supposed to. But from that process led me to get my very first coach, which was Joshua Smith. And Joshua Smith, he gave me, he didn't teach me the business. He gave me a paradigm shift. So, that's why a lot of things I do. And when I talk, I'm thinking more of impact than motivation. I'm thinking more of how can I impact you, not inspire you, but if I can impact you, that other stuff is a byproduct and that aligns with different paradigms you can take on. And the paradigm that he helped me understand was that I wasn't a bad agent. I wasn't failing because of skills. I was failing purely because of obscurity. Like nobody knew who the hell I was. Like I was just going. So I started doing videos, which that was one of the things he pushed me to do, which is some of the things we talk about. And even as we get into this podcast, that's a core component or keystone to making any type of marketing, advertising, anything you're trying to do in this ecosystem of online. Video is essential. So I started doing videos, and lo and behold, my focus when I did videos, it was a tribal thing. I was really trying to focus on the Black community. So I was doing things, and it wasn't like I was talking any type of way. I just figured, hell, I'm Black. That'll be the people that'll work with me. So I was doing videos. That was my thought pattern. And as I put myself out there, year 2, my business projected from year 1, horrible. Year 2, I did over 10 million in sales. Year 3, I did 13 million in sales. Year 4, I went part-time. I did 6 million in sales. So I did almost 30 million in sales just by making that shift. And the transition was when I put myself out there, I quickly began to attract my ideal client. I stopped chasing it. And I always joke about it when I tell people that. But when I started doing videos, I was focused on the Black community. Who would know? Who would think, over 30,000 white women would fall in love with me in the sense of that's where my business came from. And as it started to grow, when I was about year 2, I was about 15 or so transactions in. And everybody that came in contact, it was like, I got your information from the Moms Club of Cherry Hill. And I'm like, what is that? I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like a running joke. And, digging deeper, coming to find out the Moms Club of Cherry Hill was a Facebook group of Cherry Hill East and Cherry Hill West of over 30,000 women circulating my videos. And it was like, James, we love your videos. And I was like, oh, okay. So that was the byproduct of helping me understand, when you put yourself out there and you're willing to be unapologetically you, the market begins to adjust. You don't have to change who you are. And that was my transition into year 4, building out the advertising agency and everything else from that point on.
What's funny with that story, and I've heard it before, right? Because we've known each other for a few years now. So I've heard that before. I knew that. But now that we've had Clubhouse and I've like heard you speak, I think it's because they just love listening to you. You know, also you have the real estate knowledge and you're nice to look at and all that. But like, have you listening to his voice, you know, like in Clubhouse, I think that's part of it, man.
That's why I haven't said a word yet. Just listening to you, James. Just talk. Just talk.
I don't care what you say. Just talk to me, man. Just talk to me.
I'll take that.
So, James, what is it like? We all know the power behind video. You especially. Like, what is it about video that is just so intimately authentic? Like, apart from me being able to see you, but what is it about video, right? Like, break it down for people. Like,
it really falls back into, and you know, I think for you guys that have ever heard me talk, I always try and clarify, I'm not religious. It's not my thing, but I am spiritual. And I understand that there are certain things that align, that there are certain principles that we have to abide by, whether we recognize them or not, like gravity, right? You know, we got to believe in gravity, but walk off the roof, that shit will remind you it exists, right? So, you know, there's a scripture that talks about out of the mouth speaketh the heart. The thing with video is I'm able to really get a very clear perspective of who you are, right? You can give context. Video becomes that conversational scale on a dynamic level when you're really honest about being of service, right? And the biggest problem people have when they're creating videos, it's a monologue. You know, I'm just going to say what I want to say, and then hopefully you pick up and you go, and they forget video should be viewed as conversational scale. So it should be a dialogue, ask questions, engage. You should, at one point, if you don't know who you talk, if you don't know who you're talking to, picture somebody who you're talking to. So it should be like a casual conversation. And what makes video so unique, it aligns itself with the internet. The core and the manifesto of the internet is very simple. The ROI with the internet is resonate, omnipresence, and intimacy. That's the game. If you understand that, it does not matter what you sell. It doesn't matter what you present. If you can resonate, if you're willing to be consistent. And when I say omnipresence, I'm just talking about right message, right time, right mindset, right? You know, it's not long ball, but it does require some consistency. And then intimacy. Don't bullshit people. Be who you are. Don't try and perform. Don't over exaggerate. And that's the thing that people are missing, the unique aspects of who we are, in a sense of what you do and what you're into. Like me, I know immediately Kate is big into cardio and what's the other thing you do with the with the big tires?
Like CrossFit,
right? You know, the two things that people connect when we speak, even with video, is emotion or agreed upon value. That's it. Right. And we can kind of make sense of that with a conversation, because the energy being transferred, I can see you're engaging, I'm losing you. With video, we have to know what we're talking about. And that's the amazing thing that agents forget. Like, it's a human on the other side. It's not special. You know, it's a person on the other side. So talk to the person that have a conversation with the person on the other side of the camera.
How do you get someone to bust past whatever mental block they have about video? We've heard in this industry, video, until you're blue in the face. You can watch everything on YouTube under the sun of how to shoot video, edit video, get it out, post it. At the end of the day, what would you say, James, is the one piece of advice you could give to someone just to get them to start? Just to get them to start.
I force people to look inside, right? Everything always falls back to clarity. It does not matter what you're doing. Marketing, clarity. Your business, clarity. What you want from life, clarity. I force people to really think about, the one thing you want to understand is this industry. If we're talking about the real estate industry, is a very unique industry where, first of all, in 2 weeks, you become a professional. unheard, right? Virtually nowhere, right?
Yeah.
The amount of money and the level of business is unlimited, right? You
Yeah.
can there's no point your broker's gonna say, whoa, Steve, you're making way too much money, man. That's enough. Stop. You know what I mean? That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But when you understand that, now we dig and we make them look inward. And I need them to understand that there's a scripture that talks about a good man has enough wealth set aside for his children's children. Legacy is mandatory. If you're not thinking about legacy, you're not a good person. And this industry has allowed you the opportunity, but every day you have to take full hold of the responsibility to build a business, not just cash flow, but build a business. And if you're building a business, legacy is mandatory. And at the bare minimum, I'm asking you to record yourself on video. That's it. I ain't telling you to flip bricks, build a bridge, record yourself on video. That's it.
That's great. What would you suggest to be the first piece of content? Like film the video, hit that button, let it go live, or record it, save it for a later time. What might be a great piece of content for someone just entering into the arena of video content creation, digital marketing, social media marketing? What would that look like?
A welcome video is always the starting point, right? Like, who are you, right? Who are you? What area do you service? And why do you sell real estate? Like, that last question makes you think, right? And that's the thing that people won't do. It's like, okay, I know who I am. I know what area I'm service, but why do I sell? You have to think about that, right? We all know we're trying to make money, but can you just verbalize? Can you say that out loud? No, you can't. Now you really, really need to give a service mindset or servitude perspective of what you have to say. So, that welcome video is crucial because every every platform gives you the ability to house that introduction video, right? Where, that first video is context. From YouTube, you get a welcome video. Facebook, welcome video. There are places that we can pin it. And then we can get into other strategic sides. But when you tell people to do a welcome video, the one thing I tell people is, I don't want you to publish it, right? I just want you to do it. And record a video every day until you get one you like. Now, keep in mind, the clock is still ticking, right? Time is not going to wait for you. So the longer you take for you to tell me who you are, the longer it's going to take for your business to grow.
So that's great advice. That's the first time I've heard that film every single day until you get to the point where you got it. Like, that's the one that you want to get it out, but understand that you are on a time crunch. That is
discipline, right?
I love that. That is really tactical. That is great advice for video.
When people understand that the discipline of doing it is the hardest part, right? I can tell you to do it and we can consume it. It's like, okay, I know what to do, but then we don't take action, right? But when you're very clear about here's two ways you can look at this. Every day that you do the video, that's a vote to the person you're trying to become. This business you're trying to build, you're getting closer to it. But every day you don't, you're robbing your future self. So don't bullshit yourself. It's all up to you. And it will force you to get that welcome video at least to a point where it's like, you know what? It's not going to be perfect. I like how I sound right here. Let me publish it and let me move on.
Amazing.
And even with video too, I feel like we get to that point, right? Like, I shoot it, my videographer's like, you need to do that again, and I'll do it again, and I'll stutter over a word. And like, at a certain point, it's like, we just need to put it out, right? Yeah. And also, like, if you make a mistake, like, it shows you're human. Like, if not, and you're sitting there and you're staring into the camera and, whatever, like, it's kind of creepy, right? Like, it should be conversational. It should, maybe you say an or you stumble over a word, but like, it is what it is. That's how life is.
Our leaders are missing that with our industry. And that's the thing they won't stress. Like, they paint this very perfect picture where newer agents come into this industry with this very misconception of what the industry is about, right? And that's why when you tell somebody to do video, they're looking for the perfect video. I need it to be polished. I need it to be luxury. I need it to be, and the leaders never tell the new agents or people that's coming to the industry, dude, perfection doesn't exist, right? It's not a thing. Let's get it done. Cause I mean, if you spend so much time on trying to get it right, you're wasting time. And you have the ability to grow a very big business at a very fast pace. You just got to get to work. So our leadership is just way off, but that's a whole nother conversation.
I don't know if we want to open up that can of worms. That seems like
But it's true though, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're waiting for the perfect piece of content, the perfect video, the perfect time, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It doesn't exist, right? And so the pursuit of progress, right, as opposed to the pursuit of perfection. So that's bang on. That's bang on. I want to get into certified Zillow killer. So you're known as the Zillow killer. Like, why? Where does this come from? Walk us through this journey. This brand.
That's funny. I have to tell people because people think I'm like some dickhead. Like, dude, you just named yourself. No, I didn't name myself that. The name came from was I was already traveling, and the reputation started to pick up, and different conferences started inviting me. And the very first big conference I did was in New York, about 2018, something like that. And, you know, I'm into marketing. We was at the office, and one of my guys had these T-shirts done, and it was just a joke, right? And one of them said ZillowKiller and had the company name at the bottom. It was all about the attention, and then you see the company. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
So me getting ready to speak at Inman, I really didn't know the culture of Inman. I seen everybody dressed up. I couldn't process what it was, and to me, it was just off-putting. Like, ugh. I'm not wearing no suit. Like I'm not wearing no suit. I just don't get it. And so my guy called me up, and I'm up pretty early. My days start like about 4:30, and he hit me up and was like, dude, you gotta wear the ZillowKiller sweater. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that because they wanted sponsors. It's like, dude, you gotta wear, you know, it's all about the attention. So I wore it, and I put a shirt on, and it was cool. It was clean. And I got up on stage, and I did the whole, you know, I had like my time up there. Never said my name. I was terrified. Like the first thing that came out my mouth was like, as soon as they literally pushed me on stage, and I come running out. That's what they did. Like I was waiting, and it was like 1, 2, and just push me on stage. I come running on stage, and I look out, and like, man, I'm nervous as shit, and it just came out my mouth. And I got my nerves together, and did my presentation, and I did pretty well. I never said my name. I just ran off stage. I was done. I was so happy that I got through it, ran off stage, and went to the back. And I mean, I'm ignorant to the whole. I didn't know the process. I didn't know you're supposed to stay in the green room, and they didn't treat me too nice in the green room anyway. Like I got this big ZillowKiller shirt on, and people was walking around me like I was a dirty kid from the park, and so it was like I wasn't interested in staying back there. So I went and got my stuff. Everybody was now they want to greet me, and oh, what about this? So I was like, I ain't into the goofy shit. I'm out. Like I took my stuff and I left. And I went to the front, and there was 2 people that was waiting for me, and I didn't know I was supposed to wait in the back to let the audience come out, but I who knew? I just left. So I get out in front. My guys come out. They come out, and like 200 or so people just surround me and was like, ZillowKiller, ZillowKiller. I was like, oh, okay. I text my assistant, was like, Tiffany, everything that says ZillowKiller, lock that shit down.
Yeah.
And it's stuck ever since then. So that's how I got the name. Amazing.
Well, you're known as the ZillowKiller. I don't know how many people actually know your full name on social media, but you go by ZillowKiller. So
it's okay. I don't poke the bear too hard. Like people like, you should brand that. No, I'm not gonna brand that. It's okay. I ain't gonna poke the bear too hard. So
I remember when Katie was telling me about the podcast, I was like, who do we have coming up? And she's like, oh, we got James like Rembert. I was like, who? She's like, ZillowKiller. I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, that guy on Clubhouse. I know that guy.
Oh, I love him. I love him.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a little tactical. So normally if we have someone that's like a practicing real estate agent, we talk to them kind of about their lead pillars and like social media and stuff like that. I would say my question for you would be, if you could do it all over again, or if you were starting a real estate career today, knowing what you know now, both about real estate and about digital marketing and video, if you could only have one social media platform, what would it be?
Facebook.
Ooh. Wow.
Hands down, Facebook.
Okay.
The reason why is Facebook, not because it's like the newest of anything. Facebook has a philosophy: if it can't build it, it'll buy it. Right. So everything that exists, either they'll buy it or they'll build it. And a lot of people don't understand the 2 ecosystems that evolve in reference to distributing information and news is Facebook and YouTube. YouTube is powerful because it's searchable. Facebook is powerful because it's engaging, right? You can actually engage. So because I understand what Facebook is and the paid aspect of it, where it aligns itself with Instagram, WhatsApp. It's in a process of building out its own audio version of Clubhouse. I mean, there's a lot of things that's coming. I'm only saying that because I understand the platform more than the others. But if it was like, the choice between, I would start out with Facebook and then migrate over into YouTube, because those are the strongest in a sense of platforms of distributing information, and all of those collectively they have overlapping features where YouTube, LSAs, Google My Business, Google Ads, PPC, and then of course Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. It's just you get that right, you got the internet on lock.
Wow.
People at home right now are like, wait, he said Facebook, right? Okay, I've got Facebook, but yeah, I mean, it's super powerful. Digging a little bit into Clubhouse. So obviously Clubhouse just released to Android. So I've seen a lot of influx of people joining. What are your thoughts? Do you think, obviously all of these other platforms are doing audio only versions, things like that. Do you think that the audio only is here to stay, or do you think it was a fad of Q1 of this year?
No, I think audio was a feature that's always been missing in the ecosystem, right? Where when we said audio, I understood audio as voice campaigns, right? That's because I'm in that world. Most people understand audio as podcasting, which it does align. This is the first time we've ever had the ability to have live conversations, in a sense of audio, right? Now, what makes audio amazing, again, it aligns itself with intimacy. The intimacy component that audio offers, there's two things that happen. Either you have something to say, you don't. That's just it, right? When you start to see platforms evolve, they've done that from all features, right? Remember when Snapchat came out and everyone laughed and was like, what is Snapchat? Oh, it's 24 hours, it's nothing. And when they offered the ephemeral feature, right, no one understood it. And now every platform offers the ephemeral component.
Exactly.
You say TikTok evolved from Musical.ly, short form, vertical based content, 30 seconds to a minute. I was like, oh, I'm not dancing on TikTok, I'm not going to do it. And we watch how the internet start to evolve, where IG Reels, YouTube Shorts. So this is just the standard evolution of what the internet is going to progress to. I don't know where Clubhouse fits in the ecosystem. I think it's an excellent place if you haven't built up something, right? If you haven't taken the time to build up some type of following on either IG or Facebook, it's a great way to migrate people, right? It's an excellent way. But then you have, we're still learning what these new features are offering, in the sense of like Twitter. Like, I'm not a fan of Twitter, but Twitter is what it is. Twitter is big for news and broadcasting. It has an audio feature. Facebook is launching an audio feature where they'll be, not only is it going to be an audio feature, they're creating an entire component just for podcasting and for live audio feeds. So they're making it where they understand the audio structure, and they're giving tools where you can give, like for your podcast, like snippets. So they understand the process of where it is. So I know audio is going to be here. And when it comes to, brand growth online, there's only two ways you can make that happen, right? Video, audio. That's it. So audio is just becoming more practical now, the same way video is practical.
James, there's an agent been in the business 10 years, consistent level of business. They've been growing, let's say 5-10% every single year. Their last couple of years, they've kind of plateaued. What advice would you give to someone like that, like a plateauing agent who's got experience in the industry? Like, what would you tell them? What would you do? Sit them down and tell them what?
What are they doing? Are they like anti-internet?
Well,
anti-masker?
No, they're open. They're open to suggestions, but they've just kind of hit this plateau. And so, they've dabbled a little bit with video. They've dabbled a little bit with social media, but they've been 10 years in the business. They got a solid database and sphere. What advice would you give someone?
It really, and I know this may sound biased, gender is going to play a big part. Let's just say if it's a female, right? the world gives females way more patience than men. One, how you take Katie. Katie is gorgeous, right? People will watch Katie just because of how she looks, not only how she looks, but what she has to say. Right? She has something to say. So you take an agent that either, let's say a female that has some looks about them that understand that, but that's not what they're using. They're just clear about that. And they're willing to put themselves out there and really, really be of service to the industry. If they did something very simple like video, and I'll use Glenda Baker. If you ever met her, Glenda started doing video in November of last year, and her TikTok 100,000 strong. Her IG, I mean, she had a video up on Reels. Steve, she had a stack of offers like this thick, like shit made no sense. Like, how many offers do you have from But again, when you understand the power of what video is about, it aligns itself with marketing. And when you understand what marketing is simply attention, awareness, engagement. That's it. It's all you're supposed to do. You can we'll exhaust that channel in a sense of let's figure out what platform we're going to go to, and then we would migrate into some advertising, because now we have some information from the engagement to learn what the needs and wants are. But if we did that right, advertising is an option. It's not even needed, right? So just something simple as if they're willing to get out of their comfort zone and really, really put themselves out there, we could take them to the moon for $0, nothing.
Would you say an agent who's anti social media, anti video, all of that stuff, do you think they'll be obsolete?
They'll lose
within 10 years.
They'll lose. That's like when people talk about, I have a referral based business. It's not a strategy. That's like hope, right? It's not a strategy, right? That's what it is. And we have a way of I guess patronizing that behavior, because they are producing something, right? They're making they're closing a deal or two a month based off no effort. That's the laziest way to go. I'm not saying that that's not important, but there's no strategy behind that. So yes, they will soon. They come across somebody like myself. They better hold tight to the referral based business.
That's funny. One, and two, Glenda Baker's TikTok is I hadn't been on TikTok for a while, and I went on the other day, and I was like, I wonder what Glenda's been doing lately, and I pulled it up, and she hit 100K followers. I was like, unreal. Her videos, every single one of them has like, it has like the 100 views. Mine normally has like the single, like has 2 views, and it's just like me and my mom, but like hers all have like the .K, right? So it's like how many ever thousands of views on every single one of her videos. And also they're hilarious. Like her stories, it's just, they're funny. So if you guys haven't checked out Glenda Baker's TikTok, you should hop on in there.
Yeah. She's willing to get out her own way. Right. I mean, people aren't buying the houses. They're buying the person. Right? I need to know who you are. I mean, I'll go anywhere and, anybody can sell me a house. I don't need, because I mean, in all truth, Steve and Kate, our business is fairly simple. Jesus Christ, the contracts are fill in the blank, right? Shit is not that deep where we have to be like this, physicist or something to make, to produce business. But for those that are willing to understand the possibilities, those are the ones that's going to thrive. But for those that's willing to accept just the norm and the standard, digital isn't disruption. Digital is just redefined. Right? It's another way to communicate. That's all it is.
That's great. I love that. If you weren't doing what you were doing right now, James, if you weren't being kind of this digital social media marketing master, and you were to hang it up, all up to do blank, fill in the blank, what would you give it all up to do?
It's funny you say that. I think I'm very clear about time, and I position myself where a lot of things that I want to do, I'm actually doing. Right, like a large part of my time is donated to different charities, mentoring. I mentor about well over 36 boys. A large part of my time is dedicated to really, really pushing those that come in proximity to me forward, right? And So I'm at that space. And, you know, not only just the agencies, but I mean, I have multiple different businesses where I understood legacy, understood the process of what I need to do, understood multiple streams of income. And I put in the work where they are structured that I can actually do those type of things. So my biggest thing is giving back.
Love it.
And that's kind of what I'm doing. I understand good givers are good getters. So I'm big into giving back.
I love that. That resonates with me a lot. That's amazing.
Well, I'll hit you with another hard-hitting question.
Go.
Unless, Steve, do you have something else that you want to ask before I ask this one?
Oh, is this the last question of the podcast? Our toughest question of the podcast? All right. Here we go. Here we go, James.
Okay, James. If it was your last meal on Earth, what would you be eating?
I'm not a foodie. You asking the wrong. I'm not a foodie.
What?
I'm not a. I know I'm healthy. Don't get me wrong. I'm very healthy. Okay. I'm not a foodie. Food is an inconvenience to me, you guys. Like to stop and eat.
You're the only person I've ever heard say food is an inconvenience.
If I could, you know how the games, like if they could just run and just the food go in them. If I could do that, that's how my life would be. So I don't really have taste for, like, my nutritionist. I have a very structured life, right? My nutritionist give me what I'm going to eat, and I decide if I'm going to eat it or not. That's just how it is. So I don't really have taste for like foods. And if it's anything, I'll say pizza. It's easy. Sausage pizza. That's easy. I know that shit, but
James is sitting over there in the corner with his Dominoes while we're out eating, sushi and filet mignon, and
I'm not a foodie at all. If the food got too many colors, if it's looking back at me, I can't eat it. Well.
James, you should look this up. This came across my desk like a couple of years ago. It's called Soylent, but essentially it's a drink. It's a nutritional drink that gives you 100% nutrients, vitamins, everything essential you need for the day. I don't know. I'd be open to trying it, but it's for people who are just at a high level. They operate at a high level, don't have time to eat, but it's just this little thing. You should check it out. I don't even know if it's
Organified, which gives me all my greens, and then I do athletic greens. And this is how I think about it. They have it where I'm supposed to drink one in the morning and one midday. I just mix both the shit together.
Good time.
Yeah, I just drink it. Like, why do you do that? Because I got it. It's in me, so I just drink. I'm so into. I hate wasting time.
Yeah.
So to stop and if I'm out, don't get me wrong. I know when I say that to people think I'm weird. Food is to stop and eat is such an inconvenience. Like, it's like my body be like, rah. I'm like, oh shit, come on now, we got stuff to do.
My husband has a similar mindset, like as far as meal prep goes, because we get our food prepped each week, so basically I just go to the fridge, I open it up, put it in the microwave, and I eat it, right? So it's like there's no time to make it, there's no time to think about what we're eating. And he's always like, if you're hungry enough, like, you just eat what's there, right? And I'm like, I enjoy meals. Like, I enjoy sitting down to eat all of the things. So we have very different mindsets. Yeah.
No, most women are foodies. Do you have like a particular food, like seafood, Italian,
all of them? No, steak.
No, you got to pick one. No,
steak and sushi are my two. Like, I love sushi and like Asian food, and then I love steak.
Huh?
No, I have. It all depends on the texture. If it's too water, it can't look crazy. I went to Smitta. It's funny, out there in Houston, and she invited me over. She had Indian food. She knew. I told her from the rip. I was like, listen, I'm not trying to be offensive. I don't eat everything, so just give me a heads up. So if the shit is moving around, I'm not eating it. Just looking back at me, I can't eat it. So she kind of like preps me when she gets the food and stuff. But I enjoy Indian cuisine though.
the naan.
the bread. Love it.
That's funny. Well, good to know. I'll think of the best sausage pizza in Houston for the next time you're in town.
That was if I had nothing else to eat. Like
you'll have your drinks, your daily drink for your nutrients.
You Organifi. It's good too. I mean, you guys should check it out. It gets you all your greens. Either don't do both. Pick one. I don't know why they got me drinking both of them, but
Well, you're the one who chose to do them both at the same time, so that's on you, man.
it's
But
just because I'm not gonna drink it. Like, she was like, it's like you gotta shake it and mix it. I'm just not gonna do it. So in the morning, I like prep all the drinks and stuff. She had me on these different supplements. And when we started taking supplements, I never forget it. She lined up the pill bottles. It was like 20 of them. I was like, I am not doing that shit. Like, you got to figure a better way so like we can get our supplements. And then what we started doing was whole body on it, and it gives you your day and your night. So you get like 8 in the day and then at night. So in the day, sometimes I pace it out, but if I know that I'm just like in that mood, I just gorge them all. And then at night, at night, I just like, oh man, I gotta take all just do them all in me. But I get it done. So I'm horrible when it comes to pacing. Like, I get very impatient.
all or nothing.
Just I do it though. I do it,
I want to see that on a video. A day of you just inhaling every.
Like, even the pre-workout, like, I just take a scoop and just put water and shake it around me. Done. Like, they were like, drink, sip it. I don't have time for that shit. Like, I need it in me. Let's go. So, I'm real childish like that. I'm just impatient. I don't mean to be, but I know if I don't do it, it's not gonna get done. So.
Amazing. Well, James, we know how incredibly valuable your time is. We just want to say thank you so much for sharing your perspective, your journey, your insight, and your vision with us. Everyone watching and listening, I know you are making tons of notes, and you'll refer back to them for many, many years to come. For those who don't already follow James, the ZillowKiller, whereabouts do you exist on the internets? Tell us where we can go.
If you look up ZillowKiller, one word, I'm the only brown dude out there, so you'll find me. You can't miss me, right? Can't miss me. So
love it.
You might see other ZillowKillers, but I'm only brown dude out there. So
I love it. Well, James, thank you so much again for just spending your time with us and just laying it down in our real talk. So we really appreciate you, James, and we wish you nothing but continued success and great health with all of those vitamins and supplements.
Always a pleasure, you guys.
Awesome.